What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 68 of the walkthrough, picking up from the Tree roots. So before we get going this episode, I would like to just kind of go over a few things with you guys. So at this point, everything here in the Tree is done. In fact, everything in the whole game is done aside for your last few bosses. So we're going to have Millennia, and then going to the Ashen Capital. All this is a series of boss fights. There's 3 bosses back to back. You get your endings. With that being said, we have never knocked out Mogwin's Palace. Now, we went here earlier for various quests. We pretty much got all the loose loot in the world. However, we still have the main boss here, and then we have some invasions to do. And this is why I tell people to follow along, because we're going to just jump to where we were, and we're going to pick off in the area of, what we've done. There's no sense to go over things again. Now, while we're here, I will briefly cover where the items are we got. So, if you haven't followed along, that you will have access to these items. However, if you didn't do Var's quest line, you're not going to have this, so do keep that in mind. But the first thing we're going to be doing is jumping on over to Dynasty Mausoleum entrance. So this is right where you were teleported using the item we got from Var's quest, Pure Blood Knight's Medal. I'm sure you guys remember this. This was down here. That's what you got from Var's quest. You used it, and then you got teleported right here. Now, keep in mind, we already did a lot of this before. Now, most of this, 90% of this, we're doing on horseback. There's a lot of bullshit. It's like this courtyard has those really big skeletons that pop up, shooting laser beams at you. They're going to nuke you in a mere second. So, what we're going to do is not go anywhere in the red just yet. We're just going to go, and this is big rock platform. So, we're just going to kind of loop around and do a big circle, getting all the items, and then we'll be shooting on into the lake. So, as soon as you drop down, just get on torrent. Trust me on this. Now, honestly, the first right you can make will bring you into the lake. So, when we loop back around, we'll be shooting out that way. But if you just go straight through quickly, butterfly, Sacramento Bud, then yep, that's what I'm telling you. Then either way, in the far back right-hand corner, we can go ahead and pick the rune arc here. Then we're just going to go on out. Try to move. I mean, if you get killed, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of a suicide round. But just shoot straight back through again. Then we're going to get to our lake. Oops, I overshot. It gets a little confusing. We overshot. So, right here, you can't miss. It's like the only real way to go. But you're going to get on into the lake. Now, when we were here earlier, we already cleared this section. I'm going to briefly go over it, but what we want to do is just stick to the left side and shoot all the way back to get you guys to Side of Grace. Then we'll go ahead and throw some markers on the map and, take it from there. Because, honestly, there's not going to be much here to do, guys. We've already done the majority of it. So on the way up, we can go ahead and pick this up. There's going to be a smithing 6 right here on this body, so you got to grab that. And all the way back by these bloody rocks. You see why we don't really want to fuck off here? I mean, we can go through and, clear all the enemies. But once you get to that lake, there's just too many. There's just too many. They're shooting blood-loss projectiles at you. They throw a bunch of spikes, and then with that, they're gonna fucking do cartwheels of doom at you. It's just a nightmare. So we'll go ahead and clear up this first path because there's not too much here. But this is gonna be our starting point. Now, what we're doing is we'll clear the guys out going down the path here. Then it's gonna open up, right? Then you go back into that lake we're in. So we're going to get on torrent. We got 1, 2, 3 caves. We've already cleared all these before, but since it was a bit of a suicide run, there's a Somber 9 we missed. I mean, we're early game. We did not fucking belong here, but we just, we already went through, circle run all the trees. So if you haven't been here before, that's what you do. You circle all the trees, go all your runes, and then make sure you hit all 3 of your caves here on the side. So we'll leave those markers there. And then we'll jump back up here again, and then put some markers for a few invasions events that ties into Var's quest. But it's going to work best just trying to section this out. Now, this is actually a really good farm, too, even though I speak so highly against farming. When we do our DLC prep guide, we're going to want to buy a bunch of smithing stones for the weapons we're going to find in the DLC, a bunch of somber stones. So when we do that, we're going to want to, come up with things to buy them to get pretty damn expensive. And this is a good farm to help you buy them, because these guys are worth $2,500 pop. And that's what you would do. You would just come in here, really powerful AoE after war, and, help you, or spell whatever you got. They can wipe a bunch of guys out at once. You see, a little hectic, right? A little hectic. Thank you. And if you guys just want to use your lock on, you'll know who's left. Now, as soon as you get them cleared out up the main path, there's going to be a few reds coming for you. If we could line them up, make light work out of it. There we go. Thank you. And obviously, we already got our 6 there, and then, our other items. So, this is what we, this is what we did earlier. We're not going to waste a bunch of time with it, right? But we are going to go through there. So remember, we have 1, 2, 3 caves on the right. Once we get those, we're just going to do like a loop around, but as we come back through, just, circle your trees, make sure you don't miss any items. And then once we do that, we'll just jump back up here. Then we're going to ride straight through and get to this lower portion. So first things first, going over here and get your Somber 9. Then in the other caves, if you haven't followed with the walkthrough, there is the Astroboard Blood Tax, which is really good. Swarm of Flies, Arcane Incantation, and then just like more Somber. So, one of those items would be there. I'm not exactly which is where, but there's 3 caves. Then your last cave would obviously, be right here. So we've already got all these items. We're not worried about it. And then once you get to the end, all you would do is see a tree, circle it. You're going to pick up some really big runes, like Newman's runes or Hero's runes, 1, 2, 3. Some of these worth like 15,000, 35,000, and 50,000. So we've already got all that. So that's all you would do. Just go through, circle your tree, get your items, one by one by one. And you can try to fight the guys, but I'm telling you, there's just too many of them, man. Some do frostbite, they're all through them blood loss shit at you. So, but yeah, so that's what you would do. And then once you have circled all your trees, got all your items, this is clear as far as all the items. And then if you just went back to where we initially came from, that's that main trail. And you're looking at the lake. Oops. I think we aggroed somebody. I'm going to try not to rest because then all those guys will come back. Buddy, you got to de-aggro. I need my map. Need the map. Thank you. Either way, we can get rid of our markers here. Then there is like a little side area that'll lead you here, but put you in a weird place. So we're just going to go into the left. You're eventually going to come on in this trail. There's going to be one invasion right when you come in. Then from there, we're just going to work the coast, grab like a talisman, a few loose items here, but really that's all we're doing is making a loop around. And then when you get to these platforms, all 3 of these are filled with a bunch of blood loss dogs. We're going to take those out as we go. But you're pretty much going to have invasion right there, and then like one right around here. They're not exact, but they're close, right? They're close. So going back in, exactly what we're doing. Let's go on in, go to the left-hand side. Yep. Just prove my point even more while we're not getting out for it. You know what I'm saying? So before we go any more forward, let's just, let's make sure we're not going to get followed here. And if they want to they want to bring it, they could, oh shit, it's too late, guys. We're getting bait. I was worried about it. Probably made that one step up here. Yep. And obviously because of where we are, they're all going to be blood loss enemies. Oh, he got us. It's okay. It's okay. Things just didn't go our way there. But it's okay. We're just going to go back in and try to line it up better. I mean, we could swing far to the right, bring them that way, and then shoot over. I will say it's usually not an issue. I consistently go in that way, and things usually don't go too bad. The invasions are hard, though. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to fuck these guys up because they're all doing blood loss. So if they break your stagger or critical attacks, it's going to kill you. They're using like fully upgraded Mozic boards. It's got that 140 crit modifier. So with that, you got to remember, it's probably going to be a one-shot on critical attacks. There are talismans that can help out. Alright, good. We didn't aggro them yet, but we're about to. So picking up right where we left off. Just stick around here. There's going to be all those really big birds from Caleb, but now they're like blood loss variants. They're pretty rough. We will clear these guys. We're going to clear this whole area because we haven't been here. We haven't done it yet. But not before we have it. We don't want more people getting involved than need to be here. Thank you. There's one. Now that he's down, stay away from the center. Like I said, we're going to just make a big circle around and then get to the center before we shoot out. So where's that first marker? We gotta be sitting on it. I want to get off the screen. Yep, there we go. Yep. Alright. So, like I said, after that, we're just going to stick to the right side of the edge. And you will have to kind of branch out a bit and, you know, like run over a bit for some items. But for the most part, you can just use the wall as a guide to run straight back. So be ready. Big old bird in your near future. Oh yeah, he's over there. We're going to do the dogs first. So right beyond this bush, all this is the atrium leaf. So if you're not really worried about it, but I wouldn't let anybody live here. You let these dogs live, you get invasion with blood loss enemy, and you get the bird coming, it's going to be a bad time. You got to get it all cleared. And we could use our flask too, but its effects aren't going to last forever is the thing. It might help you with one bird, but there's like 4. So it's like 3 or 4. So the best thing to remember, they give you that fake pop where you think you're going to get a critical on them, and it's not. Make sure it's the right one. So you usually get at least 2 heavy attacks here. If you can get them from behind, by the time they come for you, you pretty much got the better. Almost. You're not guaranteed to get him. Now, if he does that, run like hell. He goes spaz out. One more minute. Yep. So it's pretty fucked up to deal with. Dumbass. Gotta love it. Alright, there's one. There's one. So as soon as you got him, same thing. Wall on the right, we're going to go on back. Gloverts, we're going to get the Howling Drake Talisman +2 right here. So it's going to boost your defense to Holy. Stay staggered for long, so you only got a second to get there. There you go. Stone sword, and the rest should just be the kind of like crafting stuff there. Now, once you got here, we've just stayed on that wall. We are going to shoot over for this very quickly, because when we run into those little ledges with all the dogs piled on them, we want to get them as we go, guys. I'm telling you, if you get an invader coming and these guys are alive, it's not going to be a good time. Fucker, let me up. Alright. Time to get up. Thank you. So most of them only have like 3 dogs. There's one that's got like fucking 6. No, for obvious reasons that one can be a bit rough. Stay aggressive, it shouldn't be too bad. Now, once we got that, we're just shooting back over to this wall and, finish wrapping it around. Can you turn around? No, we're good. We're good. Left. And then sometimes you'll hear that rumbling. Those are geysers. Pop up, build blood loss. It's fun shit, it just gets better and better, don't it? Alright. So I'm just going to use torque to help me up here. God, they're like, yeah, they glitch out sometimes. I've talked to you guys about that before. They'll like glitch out where they just like pop, 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 pop. They're not supposed to hit you like that. They did fix it with the recent update, but I guess it still happens sometimes. Because when the game first came out, they did that and they're like super buffed, and yeah, they fucking annihilate you. You're not supposed to bite 30 times back to back, proc and blood loss every 3 hits. You know what I'm saying? That's unfair. So they end up fixing it, but it seems to still be an issue from time to time. It used to be like every time though. So. Oh no, this is not good. Not good. We do not want to burden an invader. That's what we've been trying to avoid this whole time. Try to bring him down this way. This is the one that's going to give you your rewards too. Cute. So this is almost like a lower section. It's not, but it's behind the rock, so it kind of appears that way. Now, once you got that, that's Varus full set. That mask is going to boost your attack rating while you are around Bloodboss. Bloodboss is in the vicinity. So you might think that we're Bloodboss build, but like right here, we're in the vicinity of Bloodboss. So it's situational, but that's why I always want to read item descriptions. Just because something might be for another build doesn't mean there's not a situation where you could, make the best of it. You could put on that mask right now and get a little bit more damage. And then the Talisman too, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, and get even more damage just because we happen to be in a Bloodboss zone. Either way, finish getting our stuff, and we should have one more podium up here with your golden seed. These other dogs we did take out, right? Yep, so there's the ones we took out. You don't need Torrent, but I like him because he helps us jump up a little bit sooner. You don't have to walk around all the way. And up here is the golden seed, which is better to use this at this point, and then your last invader. The one in the back, you think it's the last one that gives the rewards? Nope, it's just the one in the back. But I guess that would be technically the last one you naturally run into if you came in the main path. But hell, there was a side path a while back that you could have even took, and it'd throw you right at that section. Thank you. Now we got him down. All we really got left is one more bird and a little loop. Then we can jump on back to the start and start working the castle. I hate to call it a castle, it's so fucking short. I love being fucked at my critical attack. But all that work to get it, and then you get screwed out of it. Gotta love it. Alright guys, so one more loop. That's a drop from him though, but it did. Alright, now we can jump on over to Dynasty Mausoleum entrance where we originally started from. That is all wrapped up in full. Now the other thing we're going to be doing, let's see if we can snatch up a level here guys. That's 130,000, 160,000. We're almost at 200 though is the thing. Another 25,000, put it really close. 87, yeah. And we're at 200 even. So we definitely pull it off. It's just gonna be close. Yep, there we go. If you did a single playthrough and you got up to where it's fucking, 200,000 level, you've done a damn good job. Damn good job. So before we start working on the castle, we're gonna be going in the courtyard. And there's like a few items, so all you're going to do is just run straight through, and you know where to get into this area, but you're going to run straight through, and tucked in this little corner, it's like a rune arc, there's a few little items along the way. You can't summon torrent until you get to the bottom, so jump on down, get torrent. We don't want to fuck off here, especially here, guys, especially. This is actually the worst part, believe it or not. It's like 5 enemies, but they're super bad to deal with, so run through your marker. So I'm not seeing the items, maybe we did already pick these up. Did we already do this? Oh, I guess we did. Okay. Yeah, we may have got them earlier. There's a rune arc back in that corner, and then when you go through, like right here, you see that volume item right there. It's like crafting shit. This is very much a suicide run, guys. You're not gonna kill a skeleton. I think you can kill the guys summoning them, but just getting to that guy's, it's hard because they're shooting all the laser beams and all that bullshit at you. Now we will be going over a boss strategy, and actually we're going to use a different weapon for the boss. The boss here is very resistant. He's a blood boss, but he's resistant to fire and holy and weak to blood boss. Now to get you, start you off. But the point of what we're doing now, there's going to be this Dynasty Mausoleum midpoint. So when we get there, that's when we'll set up for the boss. I'll go over the strategy, but we're good for now, just working our way up there. Why did that not remove the marker? Okay. So once again, we've already got all this stuff. There's crafting, there's a rune, there's a stone sword key. Like the rune's right there. Once again, if we've already covered it, we're not covering it again. I'm just going to point it out. There's an item right there you can grab. These guys are not worth your time. You kill them, they explode. Blood boss, You're just gonna keep doing that over and over. They're worth nothing. Like even this guy's only worth 2,000 at this point, and it takes so much to put him down. You'd be whacking him for 5 minutes. So you just jump past him. You would go on up over into this corner on the right. You'd pick up Stone Sword Key. Then you go over here, and I think you're gonna get Blood Roses, which is a crafting item. And once you got that, and even in here, we've already got your 99% of everything, but I'm gonna cover it again, just briefly. So when you go on in, over here to the right's a dead end, so you don't have to worry about going that way. You're gonna have a lot of the Sanguine Nobles pop up. You kind of just pop up from powerful blood. The ones right here. Out of that. So not only is it blood loss, I mean it's fat roll. And then just behind him to the left is a merchant who he's got a pile of Stone Sword Keys, but you're not going to need him ever again. So, and for anyone wondering, the DLC you have no Stone Sword Keys. There's one imbued Stone Sword Key, but you got to get there to get it. So there's no point of getting those. I guess we could have recommended you guys pick them up earlier, but we never needed to. Yeah, these guys are going to keep coming and coming. You owe me. So there's not a set amount of, the longer you're here, the more it's going to come. So right here is a pretty good Glowvort. If you go over here to the right at the bottom, there's a Great Ghost. So that's like your final upgrade map for special summons there. Great Ghost Glowvort. Over here on the left is a handful of Smithing 8s. Like I said, we did do a suicide run, so it's not that we picked up every item, but we got 99.9% of them. Now we got him down. You're going to see like a memorial stone up top. Yeah, like right over here. There'll be a grave Glowvort in front of him. Maybe a ghost Glowvort nonetheless. And once you get all the way up top, there's going to be a summon sign to go invade Vare and close out his quest line. If you have not followed along with the walkthrough, make sure you grab this side of grace. I'll go ahead and rest the aggro these guys. But yeah, and then from there, it's the Somber 10, which we already got, and the final boss. So, once again, if you did not follow along with us before, I'd put on Opaline Bubble Tier. You have to run past all these guys, all Blood Loss guys with the Sanguine Noble. But that guy's guarding his chest with the Somber 10. Yeah, that's the one we picked up earlier, so we're not worried about it. What we're going to do is we're just going to go straight for the boss. But first, we have Vare. So, Vare's got a bouquet of roses. It does build up blood loss. But not particularly, a challenging fight. Keep in mind, since you are invading, your heals will be cut in half. So it'll be right down here to your left.
You seek violence, heedless of my warning, though you have been raised to a knight of the dynasty. Pain to the very depths of my being.
Bye, Vare. Bye, Vare. When do you get 2 heals? Why? So yeah, as soon as you take him out, you're gonna get his weapon, but you gotta interact with his body one more time, so you're just gonna be teleported out. As always, for Crawling Finger Remedy, Rune Arc, anytime you do an invasion. I think multiplayer too, but I know specifically for invasions. So you just get a little bit of lore from him.
Please, please.
He's begging Mohg to come save him. Mohg's not coming. Mohg don't actually care about you. 6 Festering Bloody Fingers, but you already got the permanent invasion items, so those are kind of useless to you. And then from this point, we're going to go and get situated for the boss fight. So we're going to go in here with a tactic that makes what I consider to be the hardest fight of the game, definitely at least the second hardest fight. It's going to be very easy. It's going to be so easy, it's ridiculous. Not saying you can't get killed, but it's going to make things easy. So what we're going to do is we'll get rid of that. We need to get our decks up. We already had 15 decks. You need 17 to use this. If you don't have enough, raise your decks with that. Godric's Rune Arc gets you another 5 levels. That's 10 levels. So even if you start with 7 dex, which every class has at least that'd give you the 17. And you also need 18 strength. And this is just this tactic. If you have your own strategy, go for it. But I'm going to show you a strategy that's so fucking easy. It is crazy. Aside from that, we need to put on our Arcane Mask. We're going to go in here with Blood Flame's Blade. We just need 10 Arcane. It's like a level for most builds. Now, there's some really important stuff you got to take into consideration here. So for one, like I said, Blood Flame Blade. Plus 10 Mimic, wouldn't go with anything less. And then on top of that, you're going to want your flash. So Stone Barb for sure, so we can break his stagger. And then you're going to want the Purifying Crystal tier. This is part of Euro's questline. Once again, if you did not do all the content in the game, you might not have access to these items, and it's a bit rough. You fought Mohg underneath the capital. Mohg, ooh, let's go and upgrade that real quick while I talk to you. Mohg in the capital, he had the trident. He's does like a big arc of blood flame in front of your face. It explodes, so you have to dodge through that. You can just throw blood flame on the ground, so standing in it builds up blood loss and does fire damage. But the biggest problem for me was the reach of his trident. You know, his hits are a little bit delayed, but his trident's reach is astronomical. So you're just trying to learn the dodge times about that, but really we're just going to spawn a Mimic, and we're going to try to attack from behind. Stone Barb to break his stagger. Then the other tier tied to yours questline is going to negate his special attack. So the only real difference here is his special attack. He's going to thrust his trident into the air a few times. He's going to go bleed, bleed, and it just runs down your health. I mean, you have to like constantly heal through it and just keep healing. Like you're just spamming heal like this the whole time, or you'll die. And look at your heals. That's what's going to happen. You're going to lose more than half your heals to survive that. The tier in our flask is going to negate that whole fucking attack. Now, not only is he stealing your health, that's what he's doing, he's stealing it, so it's going to heal him back up. So when he does this during the fight, even with the special tier that we have in, you're going to remember, he's still going to at least get his health back, even if it doesn't damage you. So you're really just trying to work on blood loss, stack on him with light attacks. If you break his stagger, don't do a critical, sit back a bit, and just lay on light attacks and blood loss and blood flame. That is the strategy. It's going to make it a joke for the most part. So let's at least get this bad boy up to +9. Not going to max it, because we're not going to use it forever. But we want to get as much damage as possible. So now that we are all set up and ready to go, we're going to jump back to Dynasty Mausoleum Midpoint. Now, this boss, I found this boss to be the hardest one. I died to him way more than I died to Millennium. Same thing for Pseudosax even. He's one of the hardest ones, but they're hard for different reasons, you know what I mean? And I will say, when I was taking notes for the walkthrough, this strategy, like I was coming up with different things, and like I tried this, and I was like, holy shit, it's a big fucking difference. You know, it's a big fucking difference. So there's a lot of lore implications here tying into the main story. Like way back, right when you first came out of the game, you guys remember there's that big statue on top of the stranded graveyard? That was actually Mohg holding Mikla. So lore reasons, they think that Mohg kidnapped his own nephew Mikla to marry him, be his consort, because he's a demigod to try to rule, right? Well, when you get to the DLC, you're going to learn differently. It's actually, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to give you guys a good 5 seconds to click off. But you see some of it play out here, so I wanted to, kind of explain it. But pretty much, y'all have plenty of time. You think Mohg's been kidnapping and controlling Mikla. When you find out is that Mikla has been the one controlling Mohg the whole time for his own reasons, which we won't spoil that, because we're going to let that play out live during the walkthrough for the DLC. But I was always surprised that people really believe that. I mean, that's the lore, that's what you think. But the fact of the matter is, when you walk into this fight, that's Mikla in this eggshell, right? So, Mikla's arm is going to drop. And he's got blood coming out of it. That spawns in Mohg. So that tells me that he's the one in control of Mohg. I kind of piece that together, because that's where Mohg comes from. So, I always thought that was kind of wild. Everyone thought he was the one to control Mikla. Either way, if you guys remember the lore of Godwyn, his body died. I'm sorry, his soul died, but his body kept living, and that's where the death root came from, because his dead death root was growing out of him. He's the opposite. So pretty much, his soul is alive, but his body is no more, and that's what you see there. They're pretty cool, lore-wise. It's like, it's the complete opposite. Let's go and pop our class, pop Mimic. He's a slow walker, got plenty of time. Let's heal. Blood Flame. So you can wait to use that tier if you want, but there's no need. The fight's not going to last long, so use your shield. Look how much damage. It's a fucking good. Fuck up that blood flame. Running through the guy. Get back. So he's getting his health back. What he, with this happening, he's getting his health back. I figured that he could still kill us really easily. I figured he would have been staggered. I mean, we had stone barb cracks here, but that's mohg. So how fucking easy is that? I don't care if you are garbage at this game. That strategy is fucking easy mode. We didn't use some cheese tactic, like getting on the other side of the fog wall and spamming arrows or, some stupid shit. We just used what the game gave us and we put his ass down and got almost 500,000 souls for our troubles. So, like I said, just use what the game gives you guys. You're going to be ungodly powerful. This is how it is. It's actually the same tactic we're going to use for Millennia. It's just not going to work as well. But it's just a really good tactic. So we'll just, keep this on for ourselves. So with that, should have at least 2, yep, so 3 more levels. We'll have our 60-60 and health at 50 looking beautiful. So, for those of you that do not know, this, without mohg down, you will not be able to enter the DLC. Now, once you take mohg down to rest, the NPC is going to spawn here. We're not going to talk to her yet, because that's for that walkthrough, right? But eventually, you're going to, come back, talk to her, and then touch the hand here, and then you will be able to go to the DLC. We still have our endings and everything else. If you don't plan on following the walkthrough to the end, once you take out the main bosses, you can get your endings. Just do not enter New Game Plus. Do not do this under any circumstances. Or not only will you have to go through the game enough in New Game Plus to take out Radon, you're also going to have to work your way to mohg. So it could take some time. It could be done like an hour and a half of running around just skipping everything, but still, it's inconvenient. But on top of that, you're going to be in New Game Plus scaling. Enemies are going to be more difficult. So keep that in mind. Either way, now that we got that done, we're at 32 minutes. What we're going to be doing here is jumping on back to the round table hold, going over a very, very good boss. Remember, it's obviously is for arcane builds. That should be obvious. And mohg's like the only guy that doesn't get stopped or fucked up by triggers, so you could have fought him anytime. Just very, really difficult too. So this is the only strength arcane weapon in the game that does blood loss. There's only 2 strength arcane weapons in the game. One was Mariah's Executioner Sword, which did magic and physical. It's more strength with just a little bit of magic damage with arcane, really. But this is like a true strength arcane weapon. So for one, it's probably the most beautiful weapon in the game. I think it looks awesome. It looks really cool. But the higher your arcane, the more blood loss, higher your strength, the more physical. It's strictly a thrust and spear, so you don't get any cool swipes, or I probably would have done something with it. But yeah, really powerful. It does his special ability, so you can go bleed and just kill everybody around you. It's too powerful. It's probably not even worth using. It's just too powerful. It ruins the game, I feel like. And then Blood Boon. This is sick. So 14 Faith, 17 Arcane. Scatters Blood Flame before casters set the Air of Flame. So I told you guys before, I'm picking that one up. I told you guys before that, if you're doing a Dex Arcane build, I feel like you need to have some knowledge about the game. But, like, if I'm doing a Dex Arcane, I'm bringing Arcane to 40 and stopping. You don't get any benefits going past 40. It doesn't give you any more blood loss. It doesn't really do anything for you. So you just bring Arcane to 40. You're bringing Dex all the way up. But you want to at least put 5 levels, get Faith to about 15. Most builds have about 10. But you want to get Faith to 15. That'll give you access to all of your Blood Flame spells. You can make a gnarly-ass Blood Flame build. These are like if I was to do Dex Arcane, I told you guys I'd show this off because it is obscure and most people won't know how to put it together. But I'll probably just bring it with me to the DLC. I'll definitely switch up my build at some point, but we'll use it for a bit to show it off. That we can still do it. But that's what I would use. I would use Morgoth's Curse Sword. I would use Rivers of Blood Katana. I would use Dragon Communion Seal, and then just a nice medium shield because you probably put like 15 levels in strength. That's 16, so I could use that. That's only 14 because that's 14, right? Yeah, 14, 12. Yeah, so you only need to have strength at 14. But yeah, you can go 60 Dex, 15 Faith, 40 Arcane, and then if you're still getting levels, just go higher into Dex, right? Get that all the way up to 80 if you can. But yeah, that's what a perfect build would look like. And then just to show the spells we would use, You only have 15 faith, so you're going to lose access to a lot of things. At 15 faith, you still have Flame Grant Me Strength, which still goes with Blood Flame, right? So you have access to that, which is right here. I would just do like a regular fireball for a projectile. And then you would have Swarm of Flies. You have Blood Flame Talons, which is super fucking good. You have Blood Boon. And then the last thing I would go for is over here in Caitlin. Cathedral Church of Dragon Communion, or Cathedral Dragon Communion, rather. Because, you know, the fact you killed all your dragons. And while we're here, I want to mention again, you have to get this for your platinum. Rail's Roar is a legendary incantation. If you do not get that, you will not get your platinum. But either way, I would get one of these. So you have Rotten Breath, challenge dragon to spew Scarlet Rot Breath, 15 Faith, 12 Arcane. Or you have this one, Spew Scarlet Rot Breath of Bezeeks from above. So that's cool, but that's going a lot higher into Faith, which you could, with only going to 40 Arcane, get Faith a little higher, but I'd probably just pick up that. It's simple. And then that's just a very, very powerful Arcane build. You know what I mean? Because you can put Rot out the enemy at the beginning of the fight, then you're just getting blood loss the rest of it and fire. So super badass. Super badass. So where's that? I think it's usually, yeah, it's towards the bottom. But yeah, that's a proper Arcane build right there. You got a buff, you have range, Swarm of Flies, so you're building blood loss over time. Blood Flame Talon, super fucking cool. This is my favorite spell in the game. It doesn't seem like much, but does so much fucking damage. Here, we'll show it off. This shit's crazy, bro. Mr. Banished Knight. Remember, this has no upgrades into it, by the way. Ripping shit apart, I love it. Blood Boom. You're throwing blood loss all over the ground. You know, rotten breath. You're running above the enemy. I mean, this is probably the most powerful build I could think. It's one of them. Then obviously, you know, you have your Ashes of War. So this one has fire built into it, right? You're getting fire in every single hit. So it still goes with like blood loss pyromancy type thing. The Ashes of War, throwing blood everywhere. Really cool. And then this one, just as physical, it does have blood loss, more arcane and more blood loss. The Ashes of War probably won't work. You're gonna go like that, and it does like 3 big balls of blood flame, then they all explode, and then it has a follow-up, so you do it twice, with the second one being much bigger. So super fucking powerful build. So while we didn't actually use it, I did promise we'd show it off. So that's what I would do. It'd be, you know, exceptionally powerful. Like if you're struggling with the DLC, that'd be the way to go. And I'm not going to recommend a build for the DLC, but I will tell people, hey, if you use this, you're going to be pretty damn powerful. Because enemies over there have, you know, they have all that extra health, they have all that, you know, extra damage. Their moveset's the biggest issue. So, you know, a lot you could do to really help out with that. So, Tree Roots. Then being at 40 minutes, we'll wrap up here. So this is how it's going to work. When I'm on PlayStation, so when we back up our save to get all 3 endings, that's going to complete our platinum. Like I said, you know, you can't get a platinum in a single run. You're going to have to back up your saves to do so. If you cannot back up your saves, go through the game 2 more times. You guys will know what to do. But either way, we're going to have 1 episode. The next episode is all of our bosses. We're going to knock them all out. At least all up to the Elden Beast, probably. Then after that, we're going to do a series of shorter episodes. Because like I said, when I go to back up a save, it's going to delete the video. So what I'll have to do is I'll back up my save, then we'll get 1 ending, right? Then we'll end the video there. Then I'll, you know, download it, then come back, we'll do the other ending. So it'll be a series of shorter videos to cover all of the endings, and then I'll do 1 smaller one for the prep guide, and that's going to be our conclusion. So at the last video, obviously I will be covering all the trophies, all the items you're going to need for trophies, such as all legendary spells and incantations, all legendary talismans, all legendary summons, all legendary weapons. Everything else is just like bosses, endings, you know, stuff like that. Most are pretty straightforward. Visiting around to Behold for the first time, you know. So everything else is pretty straightforward, but I'll go over all the items related as far as weapons, talismans, summons, and spells, and we'll make sure everyone is, you know, locked in and ready to get their platinum. But either way, guys, with that, we're going to wrap up here at the Millennia Boss Store. Next episode, we'll be going on in, taking out Millennia. Then we're going to jump on over to the Ashen Capital, clear that, and then we'll, you know, try to knock out a few of our bosses. I think it might take 2 episodes to do it because we have to like backtrack here to get Our last legendary talisman here. It's like where that water was, it's all ash. You have to like backtrack there, which takes some time. You have to grab a few little loose. It might take 2 episodes to do it right, but we're getting there, guys. We're really close. But either way, next episode most likely will be Millennia, then the Ashen Capital, and then after that we'll probably have like 2 bosses in our ending. So that's where we're gonna be. So I hope this walkthrough has been helpful, especially coming to the end of it now. I hope you guys have been enjoying the game for one, and we will catch you back here soon.